Now, where do I begin explaining the day I almost went crazy because of fasting? Almost killed me. Anyways, hello everyone, welcome to the Gospel with Ishmael, to another episode, okay? Yeah, and in today's episode, I want to share with you, it's like a story time, a real story time. Yeah, of one time when I went through a 40 days fasting, and it took its toll on me, I gotta say. I thought I was doing fine, I thought I was gonna handle it, but then, it showed me that after all, you are still human. Okay, now let me explain, and I'm also gonna tell you what happened, what were the benefits of that fasting, whether it worked out well or not, whether did it. Yeah, let me take you through the journey, okay? So back in 2016, I never, in fact, in my wildest dreams or my wildest imaginations, I never thought I can ever go through a 40 days fasting. Though my pastor would go through those fastings, but never at some point I was like, I can ever go there. Never ever even really dreamt I would fast, but not for 40 days. I've been fasting, but 40 days, that to me it was too much. So yes, finally, out of the blue, I think it was around July or June of 2016, where like it just came to me heavily that I must go through a fasting, 40 days fasting for that matter. So to me, I was like, really? Then it went heavily. You know, when the Lord is talking to you, you know so well that sometimes, as much as you might want to ignore, sometimes you can't ignore when God is talking to you under normal circumstances. So what did I have to do? I had to obey. I had to listen. So I had to listen and I had to obey what the Lord is revealing or is telling me to do. So yes, the following month, or if I recall well, I think I started on July of 2016, if I recall very well. It might have been July because I calculated. So yeah, and I was studying, remember? I was studying back then. But I knew what kind of a fasting that I'm supposed to do, the one that I would handle so that it doesn't interfere with my studies. So I decided to use the fasting where I only drink tea, mixed with milk, so that for strength, when there is sugar and there is milk, you do have enough strength to go study, to go do experiments in the lab. That's what my studies were all about, because I was doing my honors degree. So that's what I did. Yeah, so things are going well, Along the way, I remember on the 19th day of the fasting or 20th day, I remember even going to pray for my sister who couldn't conceive for so long and she wanted a baby boy, She was struggling for years. And I always knew deep down that I think if I can dedicate myself enough and pray for her, I believed a miracle can happen. So that time, it was a time where it finally dawned to me that, this is the time. You can never be at your best than now. So I went to pray for her. And the following month, which was August, if I recall well, she conceived indeed. And although the doctors were against it, they were like, she would never, it's too risky and all, but all it went well. Some they even suggested that she abort because it's so risky for her health. So, but then she didn't, and I was like, if God is the one who did this, you knew that you're going to handle it. And indeed, the baby boy is so healthy even today. How old is he? 2016 can count. Maybe he's turning 5, right? 2016, 17, yeah, or somewhere there. So yes, those were some of the miracles that I encountered along the way. Then I remember when I was around my 30th day of the fasting. Was it the 33rd day or so? Remember, I was in the lab, I was doing experiments, I was doing my honors. So yes, I remember performing a lab experiment. I still remember very well what I was doing, and I was labeling these other test tubes, labeling them. Tube number 1, because I was doing experiments, testing that I've tested with this and that. So to my surprise, I remember labeling the tube. But you find that the moment I labeled this tube, next thing, I'm surprised that I mislabeled the tube. Like, it's almost like labeling the same numbers twice or 3 times, to a point where now all those tubes which were having content inside, they started to be confusing which one is which, since they were all having different grams and all. You get what I'm saying? So of course I had to put different labelings so that they don't confuse me. But I mislabeled them. And at first I took it lightly. Oh, okay. It was just a minor mistake. Let me start fresh. Then I had to mix up everything again. All over again. And now as I'm busy doing my thing, another that same mistake again. No. And I think I'm fine, because remember, I feel like I have enough strength. I can handle it. That's how at least that's how I was feeling in my body. Oh, okay. Then I was like, no. Let me go for the third try. As I was busy, when I was about to finish up my work, now I discover I mislabeled again, now for the third time. I don't know if I went for the fourth time or that was the third time. But then I realized that when I was labeling that, oh my gosh, I gained the same mistake, and I thought I was thinking carefully that time around. I labeled carefully that, okay, this is it. 1 milligrams. The other one, 10 milligrams. Or microgram, I can't recall. And as I was done, now I'm observing my tubes. Seems like the labelings now is like almost like someone just came and erased and they labeled all over again. And to me, my mind, I was so sure that I labeled everything correctly. Then I realized, you know what, I was like, Ishmael, you're losing it now. Something like, oh no, you're no longer thinking straight. That's when I realized, and I think my research was almost due or something, you know. My supervisor wanted that stuff, so that's when I realized that, no, go back to your room and rest. You're completely losing it. Like, you can't function properly. You're just I could just feel it that something is, so I'm losing my mind. So yeah, like, that's actually what happened during that. That's actually what happened during that fasting, you know. That's how it began. Like, yeah, like my things. I remember even in my studies, my performance was bad, you know. Like, I remember even in my tests, I think I even ended up like, yeah, I was like, the performance was very bad. But I remember after the fasting, we had another test to write, and also I worked so hard and I was able to recover most of the marks, you know. I did very well after then, but yeah, my performance was so low, and that was bad. So, but then on the bright side, one thing that happened about the fasting is that I remember that time there was a scholarship that I had to apply for. So I applied, but I was not awarded. You know, they didn't give me the scholarship. But others, they did get it, but as for me, never. They didn't. But I remember that following, was it September, I got a message after that fasting, few days or a week after, that I've been awarded the money for that scholarship, and that money was gonna go straight also into my pocket, some of the money, you know, or most of it. So that was one of the things that happened. I remember even when I got a prophetic word from my best friend, when he was like, God wants to do something amazing. And then the following year, January, I got an internship immediately in the beginning of the year, you know. Plus that year, I remember, maybe I'll also make this another story time where my supervisor hated me for no good reason. And trust me, I say no good reason, and I'll explain to you. Ne? Maybe it will be next week's story time, I don't know, but very soon. So yeah, I knew that most likely I won't go back for masters. I don't think my supervisor will take me, since that supervisor of mine was like the head, you know, of the department. So those were some of the things that I knew that it was not going to work out well, as I don't know what's going to happen to my future. And you know, getting jobs is not that easy, but fortunately I got a job with ease, you know. And one of the amazing things that happened as well, immediately after that fasting, I went, I caught flu, maybe because the immune system was low and all. But then after that flu, after I recovered, let me tell you the truth, I used to have flu, but from then up until to this very day, I haven't been catching flu. Yes, flu. I've never been catching flu. And in the beginning, it was in a thing of, I remember the first time I would feel like I'm about to catch flu, then I no longer catch flu. And then it happened like 3 times in a row. That's when I began to realize, no, ever since after that fasting, something in the supernatural changed. I will just hear some preachers saying that they don't catch flu and blah blah blah, but I never experienced it myself into my own life. So it happened like that. And at sometimes, though, I would catch flu only if I get in contact with someone who has flu, especially if we stay in the same house, just like at home, you know. But then I remember one time when I would be sharing these testimonies whenever I would be at churches, I was like that. Now my prayer is that I get to a point where even if I'm in the surrounding of someone who has flu, I don't get it. And let me tell you, I don't remember when was the last time I caught flu. I forgot. Even now, even someone at home has flu, I don't get it. So yeah, it worked out well, you know. It worked out well. Even when praying to connect there, sometimes I would realize when I'm trying to pray, it will be hard sometimes to connect. But ever since that fasting, I've never had that problem. Not even for once. At times I would only connect sometimes when I'm only fasting, when I'm not connecting, when I'm praying. Sometimes you can feel it that you're not connecting with God. But ever since that fasting, I never ever needed to even fast in order to connect always, you know, or at some times to this very day. So that was amazing. And I believe even other things in my life, you know, that was the grace of the Lord God Almighty. And my advice is that when you're going through a fasting, listen to the Lord carefully. Don't try to want to do it take it to the extreme, especially if you just want to prove a point that you can go dry and all. Look at if you are working, if you are studying, look at your condition, listen carefully to what the Lord is telling you so that you can handle it. So me, at least I could handle it, as much as those were just challenges. I'm not saying that I did something wrong when I started losing my mind, but those were just some minor challenges. So yeah, if your position doesn't allow you, do the fasting that's gonna suit you and how busy you are daily. You know, search carefully, ask the Lord. Until even myself, I didn't just jump into it. I was so sure. It was like, okay, I think if I'm drinking, I could feel it that as long as I'm drinking only, I will be fine. I will be fasting to my best. That was enough. So yes, that's the story time for you all, and that's all I had for you in today's video. Just remember to like today's video if you enjoyed it, as well as subscribe to this channel, okay, to the Gospel with Ishmael, as well as hit the notification bell so you know every time I upload new videos like this. And as for me, Ishmael, and here on the Gospel with Ishmael, I will see you next time. Take care and stay blessed.